Week 2 looks busy, but it's really not. There is plenty of Blackboard content providing how-tos on numerous calculations. The video this week is a little longer than I expected because I wanted to touch on a few details from last week and explain this week's assignments. First, let's talk about the nutrition care process. Last week, you had some very basic information on what the nutrition care process is and how dietetic professionals provide nutrition care. The NCP is a systematic process designed to improve consistency and quality of care, to improve predictability of health outcomes, to provide a standardized process for giving care, which is different from standardized care, meaning that every patient undergoing the nutrition care process is different and requires individualized care. So again, it's a standardized process for giving care. The nutrition care process uses standardized language and terminology and provides a framework for critical thinking. You also have noticed, taking a look at this diagram on the screen, that each step of the NCP includes a set of terms from which to choose as you document interaction with a client or patient. For example, when completing a nutrition assessment, you'll be concerned with 1. Food and nutrition related history, 2. Anthropometric measures, 3. Laboratory results, 4. Nutrition-focused physical findings, and 5. The client's history. We could consider this medical history. Also, it might be a little bit of social history too. This information is documented on a special form that you were introduced to last week called an ADIME note, ADIME, and this is placed in the medical record. Okay, other steps of the nutrition care process also have their own terminology that must be documented. If we were conducting nutrition intervention, so on the screen that you're looking at, that is step 3. So if we're conducting this intervention, we need to document if the intervention is related to food or nutrient delivery, or are we providing nutrition education or nutrition counseling, and will we be coordinating the intervention with other members of the healthcare team, and so on. Let me scroll up. All right. And so you learned that the tool of a dietetic technician is nutrition screening. This tool can quickly identify patients who may be at risk for malnutrition, may need an alteration in diet order, may simply appreciate a between-meal snack, or may trigger a more involved nutrition evaluation called nutrition assessment, along with the services of the registered dietitian nutritionist. We can see from this diagram that you're looking at that nutrition screening is not part of the NCP, but rather a precedent. And as I've stated, the nutrition screening triggers the nutrition care process, specifically the nutrition assessment. And this is where we find ourselves this week. We are in need of understanding anthropometric calculations and a greater understanding of nutrition assessment. All right, let me change our screen. Now we are in week 2. All right, and if we click into the nutrition assessment tab, you are taking a look at assessment in detail here. And scrolling down, you'll notice that there is a web link. This will take you to a learning module from our academy, the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics. This is introducing details of Step 2, Nutrition Assessment of the NCP. And I would encourage you to make sure the volume is turned up on your speakers while you're listening to the tutorial. All right, let me scroll back here. I'm going to go into the Anthropometrics Body Composition BMI folder. And we have a number of other folders here. This particular folder explores how to calculate ideal body weight, the percent of ideal body weight, adjusted body weight, BMI, several others there, and also contains several YouTube videos demonstrating these calculations. All right, I also want to bring in the assignment. Let me see how I do that. Give me a moment. All right, you should be looking at assignment 2A. Remember, all of our assignments are in the assignment folder each week. And here you are challenged with several of these calculations. So you'll be calculating ideal body weight, percent of ideal body weight, and in the third column, converting the actual weight of the patient to kilograms and the height to centimeters. And you'll notice you'll have 3 patients to attend to those calculations. It's important to note that your energy formula calculations next week will be off if you do not calculate the correct height in inches using the Hamwe method. And I'll show you that in just a minute in case you haven't discovered it for yourself already. Remember that a male who is 6 foot 3 inches tall is 3 inches over 72 inches, which would equal 6 foot. So that's a total of 75 inches. You'll need to remember that calculation whenever you're using the Hamwe method for ideal body weight. So let me go back here. All right, so if we look in this folder, how to calculate ideal body weight, we see this Hamwe method. And so calculations for males and females are different, so you need to differentiate between the two. And let's talk about first females. So first of all, we start off with 100 pounds for someone who is 5 foot high. And then we're going to add 5 pounds for each additional inch based on medium frame. And for all of our calculations really this semester, we're going to be thinking in terms of medium frame unless the instructions would tell you otherwise. All right, so let's use an example here. For a female who is 5 foot 4 inches, we again start with 100 pounds, and this person is 4 inches over 5 foot, so we multiply 4 times 5, and that gives us 20 pounds. We add that on to 100. This person then has an ideal body weight of 120 pounds. All right, for males, this is different. Instead of starting at 100 pounds like we do for the girls, we're starting at 106 pounds for the first 5 feet. And then we're going to add 6 pounds for each additional inch. So for our example, a male that is 5 foot 10 inches tall, we again start off with 106, and they are 10 inches over 5 foot, multiply that 10 inches times 6, that's 60 pounds. Add that to our 106. That means our ideal body weight is 166 pounds. And so let me go back to our assignment. So you'll notice here that patient 1 is a female and patient 2 is a male. So you'll have to calculate that differently. And this particular person is 6 foot 1 inch. So think about those calculations in regard to the example I cited just a few minutes ago of the person who is 6 foot 3 inches. And so that means they're actually 75 inches tall. And so, we're concerned about how many inches over 60 inches we're going to be needing to multiply by the calculation. I don't want to give that away, so I'll let you think about that. All right, this last patient is a 65-year-old female, and you're going to be calculating in the third column the adjusted body weight. And so for individuals who exceed 125% of their ideal body weight, we're going to convert that to, sorry, let me just find the place in my notes here. Oh, right. So sorry. So when we find that, then we want to use a formula called adjusted body weight. And so let me go back to our folders. Sorry, quick scroll here down to calculating adjusted body weight. And again, this is when our patient or client or resident weight is exceeding 125% of ideal body weight. So clicking in this formula, I won't torture you through all of these details, but you will need to study this a little bit. And in order to use this formula, we need the weight in kilograms for adjusted body weight. So I'm having you come up with that adjusted body weight and then convert that to kilograms. So the rest of this page that's all blank to the right of these columns, in next week's assignment, you're going to be filling in some additional columns. So we're laying the groundwork for that information right now. All right, back to our course content. Oh, actually, I have another assignment to show you. So assignment 2B. Let me put this in front of our other assignment. There we go. All right, so with this assignment, you're going to be calculating body mass index. And so you're given height and weight in column 2 and 3, which will need converted to metrics and kilograms for the metric calculation in column 4. So you'll do your calculations in this space in column 4 across from line 1, and then you'll fill in the resulting BMI calculation in column 5. Then you'll use height and weight again, but in inches and pounds, to calculate the empirical BMI calculation in column 6. And again, you'll fill in the resulting BMI in column 7. So column, let's see, that would be column 5 and column 7. You might think they should be identical, but they could be slightly different, which is perfectly fine, although they should be close. All right, now that you've learned how to calculate BMI and what's implied by the numbers, we have an easier method for calculating these calculations. So in column 8, you click on the link that I've included here in blue, that's at the National Institute of Health website. And so let me pull that screen up as well. That's not the screen I wanted. Let's try this one. All right, here we go.